Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 3 versus 3 on gear. Playing on Team 1 as the Tau Empire, we've got Mela. We've got one Kenobi playing as the Fallen Angels, and we've got Dimdol playing as the Steel Legion. There's on Team 2 playing as the Death Guard, we've got Willy Banker. We've got Eri 7889 playing as the Dark Angels, and we've got Agnar playing as the Space Marines. So very distinctive team compositions here. Every single one of Team 2 are bringing out the heavy infantry with their Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine variant kind of factions. There's these guys a little bit light on the feet, but mind you, I mean, I suppose maybe the Fallen Angels, if they go for the more Space Marine kind of stuff, then they will be considered quite heavy as well. It looks like they are going to go open up with a couple of Zealots, so maybe, yeah, a couple of Zealots and a couple of Anchorages, so I suppose that they're going to go a more Zealot-focused opening. And the Steel Legion, obviously, dudes with grenade launchers, but taking up into Tier 2, they'll get some big old tanks later on. Now, I do know that Willy Banker here has gone for the 7th Plague Company, so that will upgrade all of his plague-spewing abilities, as well as the, well, I say abilities, the weapons, as well as the turrets and the blooming spewy things on the listing posts, and that the Plague Lord, whenever he's knocking around, anyone nearby him will lose the cover bonuses that they have, which will be important. I mean, there's not much cover, to be fair, on this map. I suppose maybe in these bits, when there's like some choke points to defend. Don't really see a lot of fighting in the middle here. You normally see fightings going on round on this side or down over here, trying to take out or knock out one player. It's a lot easier to focus on one person rather than trying to go through the middle and then being flanked by both sides. So we will have to look out for the Tau going up against the Space Marines over on this side, which I assume you are going to go. Yep, you're going to go for Fire Warriors. It's in a firefight. Well, obviously the Fire Warriors will do quite well, and it doesn't seem that the Space Marines here are going to go for any Assault Marines, so might struggle against the Tau Empire if they get any kind of ideas. But instead, oh no, Agnar said something about snipers, or is that Eri going for the snipers? Oh, he's gone for the San Christie Chamber and nothing else, so I assume snipers from the cards for him. And then it's Death Guard versus the Steel Legion. Steel Legion will probably actually wipe the floor with them, just because early game they've got the grenade launchers, not back the Death Guard. And then, like I say, later on, the big tanks, they will struggle with theirs, certainly, unless, of course, the Plague Havocs get out en masse. There we go, there's the Scout Marines with their snipers. So the Fire Warriors will not be having a grand old time. Force Commander going to tank the majority of the damage. Don't want to go tussling with that Tau Commander. A few shots going off at the listing post as the Steel Legion make their way on in towards the Space Marine base. A two-pronged attack here, which is not what Agnar was expecting. Also got a couple of scouts, or should I say some stealth suit teams getting those decaps in. Always very, very annoying and frustrating. Got this fabulously blue and pink Steel Legionaries. Reminds me of the girl from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Well, she eats that blueberry. Spoilers were there if you haven't watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, my lord.
Or whatever that film's called. Good lord. Damn my lack of memory. That's fine. The Tau Commander is going to come down and provide some additional firepower, but these guys are going to fall back a little bit. A couple of Zealots, and they've gone for grenade launchers as well, so plenty of firepower coming on in. Cultist shimming and shaking over this side to get a look at the critical location. Got to try and shut it down here for defensive reasons, but not much coming out of the Death Guard. You're going to go for extra scares generators. So then that's a quick Tier 2 from you, I assume. Lots of firepower. On the sentry post, trying to get an upgrade on it, and also going to send a Tech Marine over to repair it. Tech Marine already on half health. The snipers move on forward, and those snipers will do a significant amount of damage to all this lightly armoured infantry. One shot, one kill on these models, essentially. How many snipers have you got? You've got 2, 4. I mean, you had 6, but now you've got 5. That Tau Commander being a mischief. Thankfully, though, the Force Commander is still knocking around. He's definitely going to make sure that he's staying back. Here goes a Plague Lord with a couple of cultists. It'll take a while to move on over, but he's just going to engage with his bolt pistol for now. It's fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Tau Commander running away. Just grenade launchers. Fire away at everyone. One Zealot. Now no Zealots. Sad time for him. Bit of a pistol match going off between the Warpsmith and the... Just 2 Warpsmiths? Yeah, you are 2 Warpsmiths. That Plague Lord, not giving a damn. He's going to health regen himself with his vomit ability, or whatever you call it. Cultists though go down. Probably just trying to screen for him so he can run away. He's not the fastest of blokes, in all fairness. Scout still happily sitting on the flanks. Tower Commander still causing them a bit of an issue. Space Marine Commander has now joined the ranks of the Tacticals over here. Not being able to keep on top of that Tower Commander. Plague Lord a little bit low on the health department. Tower Commander staying in between the squishy targets. Scout's trying to go into the heavy cover. Don't think it's a wise choice. Even all that range damage reduction in that heavy cover won't help you much if you're constantly on your backside from all those grenade launchers. The main benefit for them is not necessarily the damage, although the damage from the grenade launchers of the Steel Legion are quite remarkable. It is more or less a knockback, making your infantry basically moot. Snare trap on the Space Marines, unable to keep them, well, preventing them from running away from the firepower that's incoming. I think that's what Team 1 is just focusing on here, just getting as much of the range stuff as humanly possible. They've taken the centre, so now basically assaulting anyone's base is now open for them. One of the main advantages of having the centre. Yeah, I thought it was going to be, like usual, just a fight on the flanks, but nope. Usual predictions are not being followed. Tower Fire Warriors now laying siege to Agnar's base. Do have a Devastator squad, but I don't think they're going to be bringing fight to the Tower Fire Warriors. Sniper training for the Scout Marines. And more scouts coming over. Opening fire from a distance. That will make a fall back for now. Just going to sit outside. Could do with maybe jamming these two squads inside the heavy cover. That's fine. Double Zealots. Moving on over. One Plague Lord having a less than stellar time, being pulse blasted by the Tower Commander. Now going to run this way towards the Plague Marine squads. Oh dear, oh dear, I've got a small trio of Armageddon pattern Sentinels, all armed with auto cannons. So any heavy infantry or lightly armed vehicles will struggle against them if they come out solo. Speaking of which, here comes a Razorback. Being slowed down by that Tower Commander. So that's the prime target for these Sentinels. Beautiful colour once again. Shining purple. Bit of a chrome job there. Giving me Need for Speed, Most Wanted vibes. Or just Need for Speed 2 vibes, really. And that game just looked a little bit better just because it was set at night. Allowed you to put shiny lights underneath your car. What were the function of them? To look cool. The cooler you looked, the faster you went. That's how the game went, boys and girls. Back in the day, you probably haven't even played a decent racing game, you young whippersnappers. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Sentinels, they're just ignoring everything. Chilling out, taking the damage. I think they're a little bit of... I'm assuming they're slightly more tanky than the regular Imperial Guard variant of a Sentinel. Makes sense. I've got their little armour aprons on the front. Which does them some good. Space Marines holding back a bit, not going to sacrifice their infantry just yet. Got a machine cult on the way. Snipers, wonderful idea, but they don't seem to really be penetrating all that much. It's the grenade launchers, man. That's what's causing them the issues. So going to go for some vehicles instead, but those armoured Sentinels causing them some serious shenanigans. I do have a Mortis Dreadnought, now going to go for a auto cannon. I assume we're going to go for one on both. Oh no, you upgrade it once and both the guns can upgrade it. That's what the Mortis Dreadnought does. Should be able to withstand the armoured Sentinels. Do a Tech Marine for repairs. Put the snipers in to pick off the infantry. Grenade launchers flying on in. And oh dear, the infiltrated stealth suits being a real nuisance. Coming in with anti-tank. I assume you've got your Plague Havocs on the go. Can't see them unless I'm blind. Definitely need some support from the Death Guard here. This is a three-pronged assault in the form of the Steel Legions, Armoured Sentinels, Zealots of the Fallen Angels and the Tau, but here they come. Plague Havocs firing away. A couple of volleys should take it down, but oh no, they're starting to fire at the Zealots, in fact, might actually get him down. One squad wipe potentially, if the Rhino decides to fire at him, does manage to get him. And one dude surviving, quick take him down. Not quite. Narrowly surviving. Want to run away. But definitely those Havocs were absolutely needed in that situation, although losing the squad in the process. Death Gun aren't anywhere near as tanky as you would expect them, to be honest. They fall just as quick as a lot of other factions, to be fair. I don't really notice much of a staying power for them, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. Felt like back in the day they were a little bit more substantial, although they do tend to die, much like everyone else. It'd be nice if they had like access to... I mean, this is just me spitballing here. If the Unification devs are watching this, do not take this as genuine advice. It's just me spitballing ideas here. But it'd be nice if, like, you know how like other Space Marine and Chaos Space Marine factions have like 1 or 2 health upgrades. I know that these guys have got some extra ones as well. But just really cranking up the wazoo. Have like level 4 or 5 War Gear Bionics. As the game goes on and on, the later it goes, the more impervious these guys are. Like, I don't know, like representing the plague spreading for their body or something like that. I just feel a little bit wishy-washy. Let's hear people's thoughts and opinions about that in the comments below. I'm sure everyone... I know that a fair few people have got some opinions of that in... I mean, you know, like, Death Guard were quite a substantial race, or faction, should I say, in the previous iteration of Unification. And now they're not so much. Have away fuck at normal, went somewhere and then died. Now the heavy weapons teams firing away for their missile launchers. Also had some sort of surgery person, or someone, whoever he was. He's dead also. Here comes another bloated Rhino charging on in. He's got the Plague Havocs, but like I said, they'll die pretty quickly. It's concentrate fire. Got Lieutenant Colonel 4 Ogren bodyguards. Pretty decent, if I do say so myself. Plague Havocs taking care of that flying vehicle. No problem at all, but losing their Rhino will be a long walk home for them. An engagement going on here, just Sniper City. Plenty of missile launchers. Now also got the Deathwing Terminator squad, so ME7889 not going to go for the Wings of Redemption. No, that's a YouTuber. But what's it called? They've got the speedy ones on the motorbikes, and then they've got the Deathwing, which is the Terminators. And I assume that he'd go for the fast people just because they're able to get round and maybe snipe out some of these guys behind the front lines and stuff, but just doubling down on the heavy infantry for the Team 2's unit composition. All these scouts are now stealthed around and taking out a fair few Fire Warriors per volley. They are about to be sandwiched in between a lot of firepower, but they're going to turn around and focus fire on the Ogren bodyguard, breaking the morale very quickly. Their models are also falling down with substantial speed. Nice battlesuits coming on in, getting nice close and personal. I assume we're going to go for some flamers. That's usually what happens when people jump there. Nice battlesuits in pretty quickly. Snipers are now being seen, I assume. Stealth is also getting some shots in as well. Yeah, a bit brave to push on that fire. Would have expected them to stand around here and fire away at the listing post on the relic, but getting a bit too uncautious with their flanks, whatever that word would be. We do have a Neg. Oh, we don't normally see a Nagel Dreadnought. Check out this model. Isn't he pretty cool and fancy? His little Shrek ears, there's a tube on the back. Very nice stuff. Like how it's still knocking around. Seems that they've got some sort of plasma. Oh, the plasma cannons coming from the Nagel Dreadnought. Actually, yeah, to be fair, plasma cannons not a terrible idea. I mean, granted, they're more for taking out heavy infantry, but also the AoE damage is massively sought after. You've got lots of lightly armoured infantry. AoE is the place to be. That's what you want. I suppose these guys are going for a whole smorgasbord of assault cannons. Not a bad choice neither. Tower Commander standing firm, probably doesn't want to be there for much longer. Just not quite be microed out the way. Here comes the Hydras. Remarkably long range. Turn their DPS to more or less anything. But are very fragile. Also not the most agile of boys. Plague Predator going for a las cannon all over the place. Plague Havoc's still alive, just barely. Oh, these are Chosen Marines, and you are Plague Havocs, right, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, the Fallen Angels supporting both the Steel Legion and the tower wherever they can. We've also got a big push of Terminators coming on over here. Real not expect to see them in this stage of the game, but they were there, and now they're not, because they're dead. The pair drones full of crisis battlesuits to try and keep them alive, but that falls down, and so do these guys. Just those Deathwing Terminators, man. They don't mess around. There was a lot of tower here, but they've been mown down by those assault cannons. Some people will say that's always better to go for the Cyclone missile launchers, as they're able to fire from the backs and still use their Storm Bolters, but actually the assault cannons aren't doing a terrible job, and even against buildings they're doing a fairly decent whack of damage. So while the tower's struggling, same goes for the Death Guard here, but they've still got fairly decent enough army. It does seem that the Fallen Angels will fall back, if you pardon the pun. See if they can assist their tower allies. More Deathwing coming on in. Space Marines and Devastators. Also got the Hydras. See if they can take on the Terminators, but they seem to just be weathering that damage. Infinitely better than a lot of the Death Guard units, to be honest. I mean, granted, they are Terminators, but I think as well, also on the back of what I said earlier, a lot of the Death Guard Terminators as well seem to die pretty quickly. It's strange, considering that a lot of the Terminators for the Death Guard are also quite close combat oriented. But nothing jet fighters, and they thought, right, okay, well, you can start to destroy tower base, but we'll start to destroy your base in response. God, these guys are just not dying, are they? All right, you can't stop us. What a beautiful concave as well, making sure that every lad inside the squad is firing. Sentinel's been thrown away here. Don't know if this is just a delaying tactic. You're not going to delay him very much. Fire Warriors coming on over, and yet they've just decided, right, the only thing really to do here is a base trade. The Death Guard now pushing out. But send wreck, please. You don't have that much for a building, do you? For a HQ, you've got one dude coming down here though, so that's fine. You've still got a builder. There's a tower of money for... Oh yeah, you've got plenty of money for other stuff. You're rebuilding your HQ down here, so potential for bounce back ability from the tower. Not so much from the... How much money do you have, Space Marine player? Actually, yeah, no. A bit of bounce back ability for the Space Marines and the tower, so it's not the end of the world if they both lose their bases. It seems to me that the Space Marine player will have at least a little something left over by the time the Terminators coming over. Would have been wonderful to see their personalised teleport has been upgraded by now. That would have helped them keep on top of things, but leaving some of the tower listing posts online as well. I don't know if that's going to fight them in the back. There we go, there's the personalised teleporters. Need to move on forward ASAP. Razorback Macarius trying to fend off these tower fire warriors. Also got more Mortis Dreadnoughts coming on in for those auto cannons. Yeah, just about saving. A few scraggly bits for the Space Marine base. Now the Fire Warriors also got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Nephilim jet fighter has been shot down. Probably would have been an idea to run them off the moment you saw the exit being hemmed off. While that is going on, believe it or not, boys and girls, more action happening on the southern side. Vanquisher Tank Ace and triple Riser Pattern Hellhounds. They're going straight for the Devil Dogs. Just a couple of them are anyway. Havoc Dreadnought, Havoc Plague Marines. Actually weathering the storm quite nicely, although we do have a spinny Hellhound damaging. Morale being broken on them, but Plague Predator able to weather that fire damage. Vanquisher Tank Ace though, able to pummel its hull pretty efficiently. Well, the Death Guard, yeah, okay, fair enough. Have they had the best run of it? Probably not. They've been hemmed in the base for quite some time, but they have not been a non-player in this, and at least active, drawing the attention of the Steel Legion and in part the Fallen Angels as well. Heavy just being the mailed fist, the side and armoured glove here. I'm just firing away, but the tactical Terminator armor of the Deathwings will be keeping them alive for now, but financially it's been focus fired by those Hydras. They definitely want to focus them down. Maybe bring the Monster Dreadnought over just to send some shots their way. Finally been sent to the sin bin. Yeah, I quite like it. They thought, oh, stop firing us, let's just move a little bit further this way. I don't think that's doing you any favours. Can't ignore these guys. They're very... I mean, you think, oh, we're not an aeroplane. You won't do much damage to us. No, that is not how that works. I imagine if you took a flak gun and fired it directly as a human-sized object, that thing would go kersplat. In the words of Croc, the land of his gobbers. I'll be pushed back ever so slightly. Just by essentially just 2 tanks here. Death Guard managing to hold off. And not only are they surviving, but they're also thriving. They've got a fully equipped, fully reinforced Chosen Plague Marine squad. Cap your base back, that's what he says. He's losing his stuff. Also got 1 Fire Warrior somehow managing to survive. Hiding in the corner. These guys are going to have to fall back now that they're being flanked by a Riser pattern Lehman Russ Executioner. Lots of plasma guns and plasma cannons on this bad boy. A Space Marine's worst nightmare. Someone died over here. So not just more of the Terminators. Yeah, just a casual flanking maneuver, underestimating the things of the Steel Legion. Not a pleasant sight, but Blood Rhino comes on in. But probably, I mean, do you have lads inside yet?
We're under fire!
You do, so you could have held on for then. Don't think that the Hellhound would have sorted you out all that much. Bring these guys, send them towards the Hydras, and explode the Hydras. That's what you want. That's what you need. There's a chaplain from Angar. He's seen that tank and he wants to bonk him on the face. And look at him go. Almost. I mean, head cannon, he soloed that. That's what he'll tell the boys back at home. Plenty of stuff going on there. Celtic teams jumping over the Plague Havocs. Foxwalk Slave not having a great time here. Good lord, the frame rate. Trying to render a video in the background, and my game does not appreciate the multitasking here. Lehman Russ, slow but surely going down. As the Plague Predator tries to do his best. Now got a Barracuda. All these guys, what's the economic situation here really quickly? 115 and 34, 107 and 71, and 39 and 12, Jesus Christ. Versus 117 and 38, 87 and 55, and 90 and 92. So, overall, like, I mean, the mean economy for Team 2 has been let down by the Space Marines, not reclaiming their lost points. The economies for Team 1 here aren't exactly amazing neither. Here's Lord Commissar Sebastian Yavin going toe-to-toe. All the Plague Boys. Giving them the old squeeze with his power claw. Always lovely to see. Plenty of fire from the Riser pattern Hellhound, but Plague Marines seem to be trying to do their best to ignore him. I don't know if that's the winning strategy here. Ignore him, he's just going to kill you. He's already half health. May as well focus him down while he can. Those Hydras just always just out of reach of everything. Very frustrating. Deathwing Assault Terminators and the old regular Terminators as well. They're doing what they can. But then the Hydras looks like, right, okay, well, yeah, well, we've done our duty down here. We'll now just move a little bit over. Real problem. Absolutely, just such an annoyance. Also drop podding in, well, Valkyrieing in another Lehman Russ Executor. Brought down relatively quickly. Also got the stealth suits for the Tau, blasting apart the Death Guard base. So while they were over here defending stuff, or should I say assaulting stuff, defense in the reverse position. They were getting boosted at the base. Not a happy time, as I've mentioned several times so far. Not many of those really in this game. Can't imagine many people enjoying themselves in this situation. Yeah, really good job on the Tau. Losing their base, but holding on to their stuff over here. And oh dear. There we go. Hold still, frame rate. Be gentle for a moment. Oh, that's the frame rate gone. Oh god. This is Mr. Landshark once again regretting his choices of trying to put the graphics up on a 3v3 game. Not sure if this is the exact moment, but there we go. We've got a tank being destroyed. Hydra's still doing their thing. And as much as Eri is being, like I said, the spear point of all this, there's only so much one man can do. Space Marines of Agnar, they've not got the economy to keep their numbers up. The Death Guard are holding on to their own bits and bobs, but I mean, that's just a lot of stealth suit teams, and the Havocs aren't really built to deal with those guys, to be fair. So the Terminators will fall back. Maybe they can fight off something in a different manner. Hydra is now coming forward. Both Hydras are going to come forward. The laser destroyer as well, so these guys take on the infantry. This dude to take out anything more substantial. It's a good tank combination. The Plague Havocs kind of attempt to do stuff, but I don't know, that the firing rate doesn't quite match up. Exactly doing an incredible amount of damage. I mean, they're all just a little bit out of range. There we go. Get a few missiles off. And in the past few games, we've kind of seen a bit of a kind of recurring theme with the Steel Legion. I'm surprised they haven't gone for Manticore yet. There's usually Manticores and Hydras combo comboing. I suppose they've got the Whirlwind in there for the artillery. Nurgle Dreadnought to punch the Human Race Executor. Like Havoc still standing relatively strong. And over on this side, the tower reaffirming themselves, building more plasma generators in the... I mean, I'm not sure why you're building them over here, but you're building them there regardless. Space Marines running with the tail in between their legs. Got the Chaplain still alive and about. They've now reclaimed all their shenanigans. But nowhere near on the same level as the tower with their tech and their structures and stuff. Death Guard there, like, I didn't expect them to be able to push that off. I thought that all the Steel Legion stuff would be coming down and killing them, but no, they've just been obstinate, refusing to fall. The Laser Destroyer is down. Really now hit these guys and move them a little bit further forward. The Plague Predator can't do much on its own. I suppose it was having help with the Dreadnought, but definitely needs to keep those Plague Havocs along there as well. Tanks could take up the damage, and these guys could do the damage themselves. But now everything's on fire. I'm having a less than ideal time. I would tilt the camera to get more into view, but I don't want to risk breaking the computer again. It's absolutely ages to fast forward up until this point. I'll go with the missile launcher. Just risk it. Just risk it. There we go. Look at that. Much better. We can see everything. Hold on to the edge of your seat, boys and girls. Willy Banker, 3 here. Yes, there are 3 there. There's also 2 up here. They're everywhere. You're outnumbered. You're outgunned. Still, they're doing so much for so little. You've got to give him props for what he's done. Now with death knocking on your door. Some Terminator veterans over here do love these models. Love Chaos Terminators. The Tusks do it for me. One by one, the buildings of the Death Guard come crumbling down. Oh, the Deathwing Terminators attempting to sally forth and provide some assistance, also going right in the middle of everyone, actually. There's only a collection of about maybe 10 in total, maybe 14 if you want to do with the actual maths. They got a third squad in there as well. Okay, alright. Actually, it's not really caring at all about their own safety. They're just coming in. And all the firepower coming towards them. Will take a while. The Death Guard potential to rebuild. Plague Havocs, come on over, do something. Just take part in the melee. Oh, look at that dude, just wheeling and dealing about. Very nice stuff. Oh, the Barracudas are in the air. Over here, the Space Marines are pushing out once again. Well, we're having to run away. Putting pressure on the listing first. Got to break that tower economy. Maybe it's a little bit too little, a little bit too late. Hydra's now in slapping range. Dreadnought goes down. Don't think there's any Terminators left alive neither. I suppose we could actually just swap to the Dark Angels. Oh no, never mind. Heavy, the moment I swapped to him, I thought, no, I don't want to be watched. Can't watch me, young man. Well, from his perspective, it'd be old man towards me. But yeah, no, I mean, he put, good lord, it must have been a little bit frustrating for him. But his heart and soul into what he did. It was very much the Lichpin holding the Death Guard and the Space Marines together. That being said, though, the Death Guard certainly held their own in this quadrant, poking and prodding where they could. The Space Marines, well, they were doing their thing as well. It was just really just Emmy doing the things, and then the Space Marines and Death Guard playing a supporting role. Which is fair enough. That's not bad. We kind of had that kind of vibe with the Steel Legion, although I suppose the Tower also quite, you know, and the Fallen Angels. You know, everyone did really well. Give everyone the props for it. But yeah, just not being able to make that team work, getting that dream working. But hey, that is the way of the game. And thank you so much, boys, for sending this game into the Discord. For our sport channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week. And there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. As we miss Landshark, pleasure's always never short. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.